everybody, welcome. Today we're going to be doing some DIY fall paper leaf garland. It's a really wonderful way to decorate your house with some items that you have on hand. Very popular right now, especially because we'll be incorporating book pages. If you have any old books laying around, or if you come into the library, you'll see that in our Friends book sale for this month, all the books are free. So you can come in and pick up a couple books of your choosing, take them home to do this craft. Also, if you're already a crafter and you have any scrapbooking paper, any textured paper, anything laying around the house, even newspaper you can use for this craft to make something really, really cute that you can put up to celebrate the fall season in your home. So if you've been into the library and you came and picked up a kit, I'm just going to go over real quick what should have been included in your kit before we even start with this very simple yet really cute craft. So in your kit, you should have gotten some string, some mini clothespins, some book page leaves, and also some colored leaves. I included some cutout pumpkins for you, and I'll tell you what you could use those for in a little while. And that should have been it. Aside from that, you should have gotten some leaf templates, and you should have received a instruction kit. So I'm just going to go over this really quick. It is a very quick craft, but you are in charge of the craft. You can make it as elaborate as you'd like. I've been scouring Pinterest and Instagram and have seen plenty of bloggers doing this in their own home. I've seen people on Etsy selling them for quite a bit of money, but once you see how to do this, you can tailor it to be exactly how you want it to look. It's all your own doing, make it as unique as you want. And I'll give you some tips and tricks as we go along. So first off, the reason that I included a template in there, actually there should be 4 different leaves that you got as templates. Don't be afraid to use that size, or if you want a larger garland, you can always bring it to the library or one of your local printing places and enlarge the leaves. Some people prefer it to be very bushy and big, and if that's what you want to do, you're going to go on ahead and enlarge this to whatever size that you want it to be. If you prefer a certain shape of leaf over another one, that gives you that option as well when you're using the templates that I provided for you. Another thing that I want to give you an idea is, don't be afraid to look for templates online that are already colored in. These make it a lot easier because you can cut them out and they already have some coloring and shading that might work in your garland. And if that's what you prefer, do that. Again, if you have scrapbooking paper around that is fall themed, don't be afraid to use that. Textured paper looks really good. There is even textured paper that kind of mimics what a leaf looks like. And quite honestly, if you know how to dry leaves, you can go outside in your neighborhood, pick up some really interesting looking leaves, bring them indoors. If you're not sure how to do it, Google it, look for a YouTube. You can definitely find videos that will show you how to dry your leaves, but you can incorporate real leaves in there. Just know that sometimes they require you to kind of paint them with a Mod Podge or something to preserve them because they'll be very delicate. And once they're dry, you know how it is if you're outside and you're crunching through the leaves. They crack really easily. So they'll be very delicate to handle and work with. But if you like that natural element of bringing the outdoors indoors, don't be afraid to incorporate that. And like I said, there's plenty of videos out there that can help you to dry your leaves out and use them. Don't be afraid to pick up berries or pine cones. There's ways that you can incorporate them in there, and I'll share that as well with you as we're doing this project. So the first thing that you want to do is, if you are enlarging any of your templates, go on ahead and cut them out of whatever you're using, whatever paper, whatever medium you're going to use to create them. For our sake and these purposes, we're going to go on ahead and use the leaves that I provided. And so here's the simple part. Once you decide what you want to do, if you just want to do colors, if you just want to do book pages, it's really fast after that. So what I've done is I really like how oak leaves look. So I went on ahead and I took that template that I had, this one, I enlarged it, and I cut out some of my own. And what I did was I layered some of the book pages once I pulled them out of an old book that we had laying around, so that I could make a bunch of them at one time. It makes it a heck of a lot easier. So you'll want to go on ahead and do that. You know, look around online if there's other templates of other leaves that maybe were not included in the ones that I gave you. Again, the more that you can find something that you're comfortable with, that you really like for your decor, the better. Another thing that I want to stress that you can use is printing, again, leaves that have colors and textures already. This is kind of the cheater way, because they're really easy. They already print out in color, so you don't have to color or shade them. They are ready. The computer's already printed them out in color for you. You can do them all like this. You can incorporate them with your book pages, which is something that I'm going to show you, or you can put them with your colored paper, scrapbook paper, whatever. So once you've cut them all out, you'll want to arrange them. Don't be afraid to mix sizes. If you want to do some larger, some smaller, go on ahead and enlarge your templates to make larger ones and smaller ones. It kind of gives a nice differentiation, and depending where you're going to place it, if you're going to hang it on a wall by a table, if you're going to hang it on a mantle, if you have one in your home, be cognizant of that. You don't want to put too many on there if you're hanging it in a very small, tight space. If you have a mantle or a wall that's a lot larger, that you have more of a space, you can cut out as many as you want to use. You can make it as full or as not full as you'd like. Another thing that I think is really pretty is if you go on ahead and incorporate glitter. So I took one of the book pages, and I don't know if you can really tell, but I did include some glitter on there. If I kind of hold it, you can see. The glitter, when you incorporate it with some of the regular cutouts, it kind of gives a little bit of glitz and glam, if that's something that you like. It also kind of just gives, it's kind of like a prelude to Christmas. Christmas is all glittery, and if you're hanging it for the fall and for like through Thanksgiving, something about that kind of gives it a little bit more of a very festive kind of feeling. I feel like the glitter kind of brings a little bit antique to it, where it's still kind of pretty, and it kind of draws your eye to it because you see the little bit of glitter kind of glistening in the light in your home. Another thing to keep in mind that is really, really cute that I've seen is once you complete your garland, if you make it extremely full, you can even buy some of the fairy lights that you see in the stores that are battery operated, and you can run them through it. And it just kind of creates a really nice ambiance, especially when it's draped over a mantle or hanging in front of the mantle. If you have some of those lights kind of interweaved with the leaves, it's just so festive, and it's very soft and subtle. But really, it makes a really big impression when you look at it. It looks like something that is a lot more expensive than what it really is. And it will make it look like it took you a lot more time to make than it actually took. So here's the easy part. Once you have all your leaves cut out, regardless of what you're using, or if you're using real ones, all you have to start doing is basically putting them together in bunches. First, get a vision of what you want it to look like. Do you want to just hang single leaves and put a lot of them draped on your string? Or are you wanting to create a more full looking garland? The purpose of including these pumpkins in there is in case you want to put a word on it. Like if you want to write fall, you can, if you're really good at doing calligraphy or doing hand lettering, you can put some really nice hand lettered letters on here and also clip them onto your string. If you just want to break up the monotony of just leaves and you really want to put and incorporate the pumpkins, because that's also very fall-like, you can do that as well. The really good thing about this craft is that you can tailor it to whatever you want. And because you're really not gluing anything or Mod Podging anything together, you can set it up to use it however you like, and you can change it as often as you want to. Let's say for Halloween, you want to include these pumpkins on there, that you write the word boo, and you have them mingled with your leaves. After the season, you say, I don't want those anymore, I just want leaves. You can just unclip them and put some leaves on there. Or if you want to trace more pumpkins and you want to incorporate those, you can do that too. This is totally whatever you want it to be. Make it as unique, make it as cute as you want. So you've cut out all your leaves, you have everything spread out. Before you start to get ready to make your bunches, go on ahead and measure where you're going to hang your banner or garland. Take the string that you were given, that was in your packet, and measure it. So if you're hanging on a mantle, this part you will need some tape or something tacky, depending what you use. If you're hanging it on something that you don't want to get messed up, maybe some painter's tape that you can put somewhere where it's kind of not being shown, that people won't see in a conspicuous area. Go on ahead and measure your space. What I'm going to do is, at the end of telling you the instructions and showing you some ideas, I'll go on ahead and just for our purposes, I'll hang it on one of our carts just to kind of give you an idea of what it'll look like, so that you'll know what the finished product will be. But go on ahead and measure. Once you do that, spread out your, open up your string and have it spread out in front of you wherever you're working, whatever table you're at. And then what you're going to do is start gathering your supplies and creating bunches. Again, if you're going to do single leaves, you'll just put single ones and start clipping them to your string. So I'm going to show you real quick what I'm talking about. The first one that I put together was, I made it a little bit full. I put the glitter leaf, which is a little bit larger than my other ones. So I put that in the background, and then I took the other two leaves and I clipped them first to my clip. And then what I'd want to do is I'd want to get my string and clip it to the string. Now, it's not going to look like much right now because there's only one on here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to clip a couple of them that I made to give you ideas, and then so that you can see how they're going to be on the string. So next one that I did was, I took and clipped two of the leaves that I cut out that I found pictures online that were already colored and kind of have a little pattern on them. I'm going to go on ahead and I'm going to clip those next. So right now I have two things clipped. I have these leaves and the first ones. The next thing that I'm going to go on ahead and clip is, I made a combination. I took one of the ones that I printed online. I took a colored leaf and I took a book page leaf. So I'm going to go on ahead and I'm going to put those on my string. So you can see that right now I have 3 bunches on. Next one that I did was I took, since I like the oak leaves, I took 2 of those and I just put them together. Those are going to go on my string as well. And the nice thing about them is if you don't like the placement, you can always go on ahead and change where you have them. You're not committed to anything. You can do them however you want. And if you want to arrange them to make them more full once they're on your string, of course, then you'll have the opportunity to do that. So this is kind of how my garland is coming along. I'm going to go on ahead and just show you some other ideas of putting them together. Next one that I did again was I took an oak leaf and one of the larger glittered ones, if you can see that. I put those 2 together and I'm going to hang those on my string. I think that kind of spacing out the glitter, again, I like the shiny. Something about it is just really, really pretty, especially if you put some twinkle lights or it's hanging on a mantle. You just kind of get that little bit of a glimpse of the glitter, and it just kind of makes it seem much more expensive than what it is. Lastly, I just wanted to show you that you can also incorporate more. If you're going to do a very full garland, you can put more. This one, I just kind of incorporated 4 leaves. And so when they hang, you see they're going to fill in more. Now I can always just kind of adjust. If I don't like their placement, I can adjust them to kind of fill in however I see fit. Let me just scoot this one around a little bit. And then when I put it on, it fills in more. So if you're looking for ways to fill in spaces, if you want it to look a little closer together, your leaves kind of all overlapping one another, I can tell you that most of the stuff in this craft you can pick up at your local Dollar Tree. These little clothespins, Dollar Tree. So if you want to make yours fuller, I know that you started with 6 just to give you the idea of how to make this. But if you'd like to make more, or you need to make a larger one, even the twine that I gave you was from the dollar store as well. It comes in various colors. You can go on ahead and get that there if you want to make it larger. Again, the books, please come to the library and our friends at the book sale. We have plenty of books that are free for you to take home. And if you'd like to do this craft, you can come in and make a ton of these if you want. Another good thing about this craft is if you have any kids at home, or if you're babysitting any of your grandkids, or you have family members that are young, it's a really good craft to give kids to do. Number one, it gets you out of having to cut all these leaves, but it's really good for their eye-hand coordination. And kids are usually really excited to help you. If you tell them that you'll give them some kid scissors and just kind of monitor them and ask them to trace some of the templates, kids are normally really excited to help you. So this might be even a little family craft that you can do. I'm not quite sure how e-learning is going with a lot of families, but if there's a point where children are asked to do a craft, this might be a really simple craft that you can do with your child or children that doesn't require very many supplies, and probably is stuff that you have laying around at home, and you can do it with them and they'll be excited to do it. There's really no glue. Only messy part would be some glitter and glue, but that might be something that you can take care of if the kiddos are small. But make it a family thing. Lastly, when you're done putting them all and arranging them all on your string, I talked about measuring where you had them and where you're going to put them. So I'm just going to step away for a second. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull the cart, and I'm going to tape them on the cart just to show you how it would look if you had it draped on a wall or if you had it on a mantle. Now, of course, the more full you make it, the closer together that you put your leaves, the more colorful, is going to make a big difference. The rage right now is really using the old books. Know that if a book is really old and kind of has weathered pages, it kind of gives that antique look to the craft, which is really pretty. A lot of that is very popular right now, especially if you like farmhouse looking crafts. Because you're using mainly book pages, if you're not doing any color, it goes with any decor because it's basically beige. I've even seen some people put, they purposely choose books that have fall themes. And so if you were to read some of the words on the leaves, it might be something from a book that is set in the fall or has reference to the fall. Know that you don't have to do just these kind of book pages. I think using kids' books are really good, like kids' chapter books, because sometimes they still have some pictures in there. So that's just kind of an unexpected little decoration on your leaf if you were to use a children's chapter book that has pictures in it. Something about that is just unexpected, and it kind of makes it really cute, especially if maybe your children want to hang one in their room. Another thing that you could do is for the littles, if you have older books that are picture books, maybe you have some that are fall themed that maybe are not in the best shape for reading. Maybe some of your pages are curled or they're water damaged. that texture is still great to be able to cut them out. Something that I failed to mention was, if you have a Cricut, you can find all kind of templates to do leaves. So you are not just having to cut them out and trace them. If you have a Cricut machine, you can just go online and cut your own and cut multiple ones in various sizes very quickly. This is just a really rudimentary way of doing it, but it's very relaxing, and it kind of gives you the time to think and prepare for what you want your craft to look like. So let me go on ahead and grab the cart. I'm going to tape these up and just kind of give you an idea of what your garland could look like. Again, keep in mind, if it's more full, if that's the look that you're going for, that would be something that you may have to pick a little bit heavier twine, of course, because you're going to want it to be able to accommodate the weight of the paper leaves. The more that you're going to put on there, the heavier it's going to get. And so your hang portion of it will probably hang a little bit lower. You may have to secure it to wherever you're hanging it a little bit better. But regardless of how you do it, it really is very fashionable, and it is really cute, and it gets a lot of compliments. A lot of people are finding crafts to do like this, and this is just one that's so simple to do, and it's so cute when it's done. So give me just a second, and we're going to go on ahead, and I'm going to pull the cart. Okay, I'm back. And so I've gone on ahead and I've hung the garland up on our cart just to give you an idea of what it would look like. Now you can see that where I have the leaves where they're a little bit more full, where I've added 3 to 4 leaves, it kind of fills in the spot a little bit more. If you're looking for a way to make your garland more full, that might be what you'd like to do. Don't forget to incorporate some glitter on it. If you'd also like to do the plain colors, you can add glitter to that as well. Add lettering. If you have stencils at home to cut out letters, you can cut out your own saying, whether it's saying happy fall, be thankful, grateful. If you're doing it for Halloween and you want it to say boo, you can cut those out and hang those in between. I really like the ones that have the colors because I feel like they kind of stand out. But the book page ones are very pretty as well, especially if you have them on with a dark background. So if you're having them hang on a wall or a mantle that's a little bit darker, they're going to stand out a lot more. Now, if you want it to be a very full garland, again, use a heavier type of twine or heavier type of string. I wouldn't use anything like the curling ribbon. That's kind of flimsy, and what I was finding as I was hanging these on the garland was that you have to balance out the weight of them, and that might be something that you find, is that you might have to add or take one away. Now the heavier ones, such as this one and this one here that have more leaves, those tend to hang true to the way that I put them on the string. Whereas some of these smaller ones, I had to add to them because what I was finding was that they were flipping upside down because of the weight. The other ones were heavy and those were too light. And what it was making happen was that the string was turning and making them stick up instead of down. So you might have to play with their placement a little bit. Like I said, I really think it's a good idea that if you do enlarge some templates, that you go on ahead and put some larger, some smaller. It will help to balance the weight on your string. And also it kind of gives a little bit more visual interest. So for today, that's all I have for you. I hope that you enjoy doing these programs with us. We enjoy doing them for you. And we hope that this is something that you'll go on ahead and put in your house. If you happen to make this and you're really proud of it, go on ahead and put a picture on our Facebook page. Show us that you participated and that you made it. Let us see how yours came out. Everybody has great ideas, and it's always wonderful to share. I love looking at the pictures of crafts that people have done that they've learned right here at the library. Another thing that I want to ask you to do is like our Facebook page. Follow us on there so that when we're posting these programs, you'll be able to see them. Lastly, if you're following this on YouTube, subscribe to our channel so that as we post new programming, you'll be notified of it. And like us, like our page. Let us know that we're doing a good job and we're giving you the programs that you like and that you'd like to continue seeing. Happy fall to everybody. Thank you so much again for joining us. And I hope that you really enjoy this craft, and we hope to see you soon. Thanks.